Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be our today's topic video for both the 23rd and the 24th. So we are wrapping up our countdown to Christmas. So we will have technically 5 winners on this one because we need 2 for the 23rd, 2 for the 24th, and our Monday winner. And I'm sorry, I was not home at a decent time last night. I was doing members videos until almost 1 in the morning, and I just needed to get some sleep after that. So I didn't get to see you guys last night for our 23rd message. So we'll get caught up now. So our winners are Pam Roberts, Feelin' My Soul, Gwen Cusack, Squish Bish, and Monique B. All right, so I will get to these winners and I will do a storytelling for those 5 individuals, and I'll put that free link right there in the description box as soon as I'm done with this live stream. Now, there is one other thing, and I thought it might be nice to kind of go through real quick and touch base so you guys all know, in case you missed it. We've been doing this countdown to Christmas every day. And the countdown to Christmas has been going on since December the 1st. And so some of you might have missed whether or not you were a winner. So let me quickly recap for you. So on December 1st, winners were Marie Ellen, Sam Bond, and Renee Alphine. December 2nd was Seashells in Ms. Light. December 3rd was Hetty and Bruce Reed. December 4th was D. Rogers, Corky 44, Feelin' My Soul, and E-Board. Whoops. Sorry. December the 5th was Roots for Your Soul and V-Dub the Fox. December 6th was Electro Beat and Luminous Marina. December 7th was No Beans and Colleen's Story. December the 8th was Mel and ABCDIV5PC. December the 9th was Andy Kerr and RT, and the Monday winner was Louise. December 10th and 11th was Raise the Cage, Cholita in Chicago, Kristen Holland, and Lightning Cass. December the 12th was Whitman Clan and Brittany Marie Bruce. December 13th was Slim Dominique and Annette Summersby. December 14th was DOCRPH and Carol Mercer. December the 15th was Michelle Tressel and Lori Nicholas. Sorry, my handwriting's really awful. December 16th was Lalu and Melanated Butterfly, and the Monday winner was Mima Jamila. December the 17th was Lisa Boyle and Nikki Hamilton Moore. December 18th was Rahman and Alchemist 111, sorry. December 19th was Brujita Beauty and Annie S. December 20th was Sandy-00 and Robin. December 21st was RT and Tupelo Miss. And December 22nd was C. Nelly Run and Annette Summersby. All right, so if I just wanted to make sure you guys all get a recap in case you didn't know that you were a winner. I know some of you might not have caught that. So there you have it. And now let's go ahead and get to this. So for a message for the 23rd, let's start there. Give us a message for the 23rd. I know today is mostly over, depending on where you are in the world. Hi, Ramon. Good to see you, babe. We have 4 of Pentacles upright. We have Queen of Wands. We have 8 of Wands. And we have the Hanged Man. So we have waiting, and then we have fast action, and then we have waiting. So the energy for today, the 23rd, if you're in my time zone, it says that there was some kind of either feeling of like a Queen of Wands was hoping to have something come rushing at her that didn't show up today. There was a feeling of disappointment, and it could have been a divine masculine she was hoping to hear from and didn't. Wendy, nice to see you, babe. We have 8 of Cups upright. We have King of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, and this was a cutoff date for her. There was something here where if he's not showing up by now, I think I'm going to go ahead and say I got to walk away from this. Maybe he's not my King of Wands, or maybe he just doesn't want to be my King of Wands. And I need to let this go. By the way, I'm sorry. I know my hair looks like a shipwreck, but oh well. I do think she decided to be done with something. 9 of Cups. And she decided to just live her best life now. So I almost feel like maybe it's a good thing that I'm doing this video at the end of the evening on the 23rd, because this does feel like a divine feminine who said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. So I'm not hearing from him. So he's not reaching out to me. You know what? It doesn't stop my life from being amazing. So I'm identifying now as single. That's okay. I'm going to embrace everything that my life is in the here and now. And so I do feel like she's looking forward now to her next adventure. Something shifted today for this feminine. Magician in the reverse. She may have even said, I need to quit trying to manifest connecting with a particular someone, with him. This is the end of the road for me putting my mind into that concept. Shall we take one quick peek and say, what is the message here for him? Is there any component for him? Today, where is he at? He could be a Pisces because of that Hanged Man, but then we also saw him as a King of Wands in the reverse, which would make him a Leo, Sag, or Aries. 9 of Wands sideways, 2 of Cups upright, 7 of Swords upright. It's weird because in his mind, he says with that 9 of Wands sideways, that's him saying, I'm mostly healed, but just not entirely. Like, I'd like to move toward her, but I think she's just going to, not believe me and run away. Why do you think she's going to not believe you and run away if you came toward her? Why is that your energy on the 23rd? 6 of Swords and the Justice card. Well, all I can say is he is successfully sabotaging this 100% because he's saying, she won't believe that I'm in calmer waters because things were such a mess before. Okay, well, you not taking action will definitely prove that you are not indeed coming forward to offer her anything. So I'm not sure why, if you think about stuff and you go, well, I'd like to, work really hard for my boss, but if I do, they probably won't believe because I've been not showing up a whole bunch and I haven't worked hard in the duration that I've been there. So now if I do go in tomorrow and I work hard, they probably still won't think that I'm doing a good job, even if I am. So I think, again, I'll just slack off or not go in. And it's like, but here's the thing. If you keep proving the behavior by not changing it, what is somebody supposed to think? And I don't really know why you get to say they probably wouldn't believe it if I did behave different. And it's like, well, darling, you haven't yet behaved different. So why would they be saying, oh, they're my best worker when you've never shown up or done your best work? Or let's switch over and say in a relationship, if you haven't been being that 2 of Cups and that loving individual and being present, then why are they required to still say, oh, but you're wonderful, you're the 2 of Cups, you give me everything I need, when you've never once done that? It's like, well, even if I did, you wouldn't believe it, but you haven't done it yet. So what is there to believe or disbelieve? I don't know. This feels a little, maybe that's the wounded side talking, perhaps, is the way we would look at that. I don't know how else to say it. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you tonight. We get the 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is like, I do feel like this person still wants to fight and they want to fight against obstacles of their own creation. So on the 23rd, we do not see somebody making any changes. In fact, they seem to want to defend even the fact that they're sabotaging something. So good on her for moving forward. Honestly, that looks kind of like the best thing possible because it does look like she's letting go. Let's check in with the universe on this real quick and just say, universe, what's your impression of all this? Is this the best possible outcome? Is this a good idea to just move forward or what? Yeah, Chariot, definitely. Yep, no more back and forth thing, no chess game. Just move on. Just move on. That's a great thing for her to do today. So I don't see her continuing to think about somebody anymore. Him, her, it doesn't matter. This could have always been same-sex couple, reverse gender roles. But for someone who hasn't shown up, still isn't showing up, it says, yep, go for it. Move on. You know what? There's other things to do in life and no reason to get caught spinning our wheels on someone who isn't present. Okay, so let's shift over into the message for the 24th. For the 24th, what do we have? Hey, Luminous Marina, AJ, RT. So great to see you guys tonight. So nice, Ramon. Thank you. You're so sweet. We have the Emperor upright. We have a 10 of Pentacles, and we have the Eight of Cups. Okay, so the energy for the 24th could be one of great satisfaction. I mean, this is like a big energy change. We have somebody taking control of their life. We have someone stepping into full-blown emperor attitude. So this is a, very traditional divine masculine energy, patriarchal energy. This is a great emperor too. This is somebody who, they are a good leader. They are caring. They are loving. They have a lot to offer. They care about the people in their world, in their life. With that 10 of coins, this just seems like a divine masculine who's just cherishing his family on the 24th. He could be in a relationship and it's just like, oh my God, I'm so incredibly happy. We have an Eight of Cups though. And we got to see where that goes, because the Eight of Cups is walking away from all of this. And I don't see any emperor walking away from this very happy life that they have built. So either this is somebody who's saying, you know what, I want all of this. I'm making the decision that I want to have all that. I want to be an emperor, but I haven't got it yet. Or they're comparing and contrasting. Somebody could be looking at the emperor saying, oh my God, look at how happy he is. Look at his family. Look at what he's built for himself. Look at his contentness. And here I am out here by myself comparing, apples to oranges. Nine of Wands. Yeah, I'm going to say that we may have someone, this could be a feminine, this could be a masculine, who is looking at another person's life and seeing their level of contentedness, and they're comparing what they don't have to someone's life who seems to be very happy, and they at least looking in from the outside, they seem very content. Hang on, let's change gears immediately and say, universe, what would you say to the person that is looking in and saying, this is what I see. I see them having a great life, and I see me on the outside not having that. Page of Wands, Emperor upright, Ace of Swords. Okay, so the universe is not playing on this one. The universe is like, if you're acting like a page, you're not going to be an emperor. Like, don't compare your life to an emperor's life unless you're also willing to compare what are your actions yielding, This feels like, we can't be either envious of someone else, or I'm hearing that song, some guys get all the luck, some guys get all the pain, some guys get all the breaks, some guys do nothing but complain. But if you were here with me, I'd be so happy I could cry. That song, I love that song, by the way, but it almost feels like the universe is pointing out kind of a bit of maybe a rude truth, but maybe a much needed truth. You can't be an emperor if you're operating as a page. And that doesn't mean that this character is bad. This could even be the universe saying, yeah, but you haven't built your empire yet. You haven't met the person you want to build with yet. Think of it like this. On the other hand, you can aspire to be all those things. Let that be the role model. If you're a page, you're already like on the way, right? You're not even in the minor arcana. You're into court card stuff now. So yes, you're a page, but next you can be the knights, and then you can be the kings, and then you can be the emperor. So look at it as like, wow, I love the way that friend or that, family member of mine seems so content. Look at his life. He looks so happy. God, I'd love to have that. That's not where my life is, but that doesn't mean our life is crap. It just means, okay, let me think about it. What does an emperor do? An emperor has a lot of responsibilities. Have I wanted to take on a lot of responsibilities, or have I been, kind of digging it, just answering to only my own needs? An Eight of Cups is somebody who's out there just doing their own thing. They answer to nobody. Pages are the kids of the court, and there's not a lot of expectation put on them either. So do we want more responsibility? Then we can move toward it, but it will be more work. And so it's just like the universe is pointing something out, not saying this person is lazy or, you can't be an emperor. No, quite the reverse. Just saying, have you wanted to step up and be the emperor yet? Because it looks like you're still in the Eight of Cups energy. So it could just be somebody who's going to be like really inspired on the 24th to say, I see how happy this emperor is. I see him loving the fact that he has family. I see him loving this energy. And maybe because, the 24th is obviously holiday. It's New Year's Eve, or Christmas Eve. We have the Chariot. This definitely, the universe is saying you can absolutely choose to walk the path of an emperor. And you can start from today. Start growing as an emperor would grow. Start, gravitating toward things that you choose to be responsible for. Gravitate towards someone, build a relationship with someone that you genuinely want to, set an intention that I want to build with you. If you want to do that, you can absolutely. There's nothing preventing this page from becoming an emperor other than, do you have enough desire to want to do that? And I love the fact that the universe is just giving this person the absolute like green light. There's nothing missing in you that would make you unable to become an emperor. It simply is that you haven't been one yet, but you can change that if you so choose. So it's up to you if you want that. Just know what it comes with. It's going to come with dedication. It's going to come with, intention. It's going to come with hard work. It's going to come with being reliable. It's going to come with being somebody else's other half and running that empire together. Are you ready to commit to that? Okay, so what is our character's spin right now? 3 of Swords, Magician. You know what? I feel like the 24th could be both an awesome day of hitting a rock bottom and also completely feeling inspired. And I think that those two always go hand in hand, honestly. Lots of times when we hit the end of a behavior or a roadblock or something that we don't want to do anymore, and we're just like, oh, this isn't right for me anymore. That's when we hit rock bottom, but that's also when we say, and that's why I can't do it anymore. I have to do better. So I feel like we may have the story of a divine masculine on December 24th, who both simultaneously is like comparing his life to somebody else's, doesn't really love the way his is stacking up, feels bummed, and then feels like, I'm going to do better. How awesome is that? Like, what a great, and who hasn't been there, right? We've all been in a place before where we watched somebody else's life blossom and we felt like we were way behind. And then we can feel sad or upset or cheated or boo-hoo, poor me. And then we can also say, but wait a minute. No, I can do that too, and then we get kind of like motivated and we start going after something that we want. I always think that rock bottom is good because that's where our feet finally hit the ground and we're standing on something solid. And from there, we can only go up. 7 of Pentacles. He is like already starting to like build and grow. He's got a plan in mind. This is somebody who could have like the best and the worst moment on the same day. I love this person's drive. I love their determination. I love the fact that they just got inspired. What's your ultimate goal? Do you have something in particular that you want your emperor's life to look like? Ace of Swords, 7 of Cups. He does have clarity on something that he wants. He just doesn't know if it's going to work out, but he's going to go for it. What is it? Can we see that? I actually really like this character. 10 of Swords. He wants to change something big in his life. So he's got to put an end to one thing. 5 of Wands. He wants to change something about the way he's been doing his life, the way he's been living his life. Obviously, transformation. We see it twice with the butterfly and the snake. It says spirits live here. So I'm wondering if he wants to become more spiritual and just connect to, I don't know, I almost feel like this is somebody who had some ego that was blocking his ability to really like humble himself enough or be vulnerable enough to really pick what he wanted. Because we do have that tower back there on the 10 of Swords, which would represent ego that is like no longer going to get in the way. He's letting go of some chip on his shoulder. He may already know who he wants to be with. He may be in love with someone and he just wouldn't let himself return to them or wouldn't let himself pursue something with a person that, he perceived, well, it was a mess, so I got to let it go. And instead he's like, no, I got to let go of my ego around this because that's why I've still been walking alone. And I want that person. The Moon and the Emperor in the reverse. He is definitely having the coming to Jesus moment saying, I know now what was blocking me from being the emperor. It was probably ego, and I didn't even realize it until now. It's very clear now. He already knows who he wants to be with. There is somebody very special out there to him, possibly a Leo, because of that Sun card. Somebody whose name could be like Rebecca or something. And I only say that because these are Rudbeckias. Also, Black-Eyed Susan is another name for that flower. So maybe somebody's name starts with an S, or Susan or something, or Susie, or maybe like a derivative of because I'm actually hearing like lots of other names that start with S's that are like, bear in mind, I happen to be an American. So when I say a name is foreign, it means foreign to me. So a non-American name, this starts with an S. And I cannot even, like, there's so many rolling around in my head right now that are like, it's hard when I don't know. Like, there are cultures I've never visited, and there are names that I've probably never heard before. Even, in Greece, which I'm very familiar with, there are so many names that I would still meet people that I'd never heard that name. And it took a little bit for my brain to, remember it because it was unfamiliar for me. So again, it's weird to try to describe a name that I've never heard. That's like bouncing around my head because I'm only getting like random letters. I'm seeing W's, I'm seeing A's, I'm seeing S's. So I don't know if there's a specific name involved here or an R name, but we have the King of Swords sideways. All I can say is he is definitely becoming more honest with himself. It's clicking, and it's because he's spent some time or will spend time on the 24th with this could be a friend, this could be a brother, this could be colleague, coworker, whatever, who he's like observing or participating in someone else's like life, and he's saying like they're happy. Like, it's a really happy family. This is what this masculine wants, and I want what he has. This is very much a divine masculine story, but do bear in mind we all carry masculine and feminine within us, so it doesn't have to be a man. But the Emperor is a classical male archetype. But it's pretty awesome to see him, starting to understand something about his own, past actions. We have Death card upright as well. That Death card is Scorpio energy, the big change in him, big change in what he sees, what he thinks, his life was supposed to be versus what he actually wants it to be now, where he blocked the very thing that he most wanted. He's having like transformation after transformation after transformation, a lot of truths coming in that he didn't see before, a lot of moments of clarity after having, so it's weird when the moon shows up and it's the things that we've hidden and now they're not so hidden and we're having to take it all in at once. I wasn't being an emperor. In fact, I was doing things opposite of what an emperor would do, because an emperor is not going to walk around and say, well, I really want that person, but I won't put in effort to heal things. If this is somebody he's already in love with, but he let his ego get in the way, it's like an emperor is not going to let their ego get in the way. An emperor's going to work on things with the person that they most want to be with. And I feel like he's just realizing all kinds of things about himself, about the way he wants to do things different, and in particular about how he wants to communicate. That Man of Swords, it's going to be, King of Swords is a communicator. It feels like he wants to talk. Girl of Cups, which would be that Page of Cups, which would be the apology card, and Ace of Pentacles. This could be somebody who's like, you know what, I never did. I never apologized to the person that I love. Maybe that's why I've been out here roaming by myself through the desert. And I've been wounded and haven't healed, because in truth, there was someone I really wanted to be with, and I just couldn't make myself say the things that I needed to say to maybe fix things and get us back on track. And now it feels really foolish, because it seems so easy now that ego's not in the way. Now that I want something beautiful more than I want to stay, in the comfort zone of not apologizing, or in the comfort zone of my ego. So this is a big epiphany moment. What does that mean? Is that the extent of this? Is this just like the beginning transformation? Or is this something that actually occurs like throughout the day? Is he like on the 24th? Is he doing something? We have the King of Swords again, still sideways, Justice, and the Nine of Pentacles. Give me a couple more on that. The fact that he came out twice as a King of Swords, both sideways, says I don't really see him making a move on the 24th. He's still, contemplating and running through things through his mind here, especially with the Justice card. We have the Sun and we have the Lovers. I think it's a day for him to like really, 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 get his mind wrapped around how he feels, what he really wants. In this case, the sun is like vomiting out rainbows, but this is happiness and romance. No, I think he needs time. I mean, all this is big reveals, right? These ideas that he has about how he wants to turn his life around a little bit. And the fact that he even knows who he wants to be with, he knows what kind of romance he'd like to have ideally. And it's very different than what he has had so far with this person. He may be contemplating just how far off the behavior was from getting a happy relationship going. So he could be contemplating a little bit about, what did I not bring to the table before? It's not just about saying, oh my God, yeah, there's a reason I've been single. It's because I wasn't really contributing. But let me get more specific. What was I not contributing? Did I care enough about making sure my partner was happy? Was I in sync with them? Were we seeking happiness, or was I still seeking, like, I want to feel good. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel validated. It's great. I think that he's in a place of contemplation on the 24th. King of Cups. He's really like having a little coming to Jesus moment with himself and contemplating what he wants to offer, contemplating how he feels, what he'd like to express, what he didn't express before, what was missing, but all from his perspective. What did I not bring to the table? And, ultimately, I think he's saying, what I didn't bring to the table is maybe I didn't even tell the person that I loved him. Maybe I didn't show him that I loved them, that I cared about their happiness, that they made me happy. Maybe I didn't do that before. That's huge. And I would say that is an amazing moment of self-reflection that bodes very well for someone who's becoming an emperor, because emperors do think about that. They think about their actions and how their actions would impact others. They think about those things. Ace of Swords. He's having some serious clarity moments. Wow. Light bulb moment after light bulb moment. Okay, so it's a big day for you. Is there anything else here? Page of Swords. He's probably not reaching out to anybody or trying to say, hey, I just decided I'm an emperor, so poof, I'm an emperor. No, he's actually going through the mental thought process of changing the way he sees things. He's going through this maturation process of starting to assess himself first. He's thinking outside of himself. He's recognizing his role in things and the person he'd like to be. So this is still like, we're seeing the internal building of an emperor. How does somebody shift into emperor gear? We're watching the internal process happen. And it's really awesome to see. This person seems like they want a better outcome. They want to be a better version of themselves. And they're determined to really be honest with themselves about what that looks like and be willing to learn a little bit more before they go approaching anybody. They're going to still be thinking about things on the 24th. They're making a plan. What are you gathering information on? With that Page of Swords, we have, possibly a feminine in fishnet with rain boots on and a peppermint candy skirt. Ace of Pentacles. What he's gathering information on could be anything from what would I, and he could be reading up on articles or something like that, but what does it take to really have a fresh start in life? Or, what are the 10 best ways to, approach someone if you would like to show them that you've changed? Or, what's the best way to try to rebuild? He could be looking into things like that. We have a Two of Cups. The underlying thing is, maybe I need to get my peppermint skirt on. Sorry, I just see his stripes there now. It's like he's taken a wardrobe note from her. I don't think it requires wearing a similar wardrobe or lace up sandal boots here, but he is thinking about, what does it take to really be vibing with a partner, be on the same wavelength as a partner? How do you show, or how do you have a new beginning with someone and convince them that this time there could be a really wonderful vibe that they would want to match a partner in. You know, how do you rebuild that? What's the best vocabulary to use? How do you explain? I think he's looking for words, and I think he might be doing some, like I say, reading up or listening to, you know, not to find somebody else's words, so it's like this weird rehearsed, you know, script that he's going to be reading. But I do think he is, to his great credit, he's really trying to figure out, how would I go about doing this? And the only reason I think he might be looking toward other sources for ideas on the 24th, by the way, this is like into the evening on the 24th, because it's like nightfall now. I think the reason he'd be looking for information like that is because words are not his thing. He's a King of Swords sideways twice. The finding the right words to describe, you know, what he'd like to offer, the changes that he sees in what he should have offered before, all that, and trying to figure out how to ask somebody for either second chances or new beginnings. That's something he's going to have to figure out. How do I say those things? So I see it more like he's doing some reconnaissance on, like, what are the best ways to describe, you know, your emotions? What are the best ways to explain, you know, what you would offer someone, or how to heal a difficult situation? So interesting approach, maybe, because this feels almost like a tutorial on how to fix a relationship is more or less what he's looking for. But I think he's looking for the language of it. How do I explain that? And you could say, well, say what your heart feels. Here's the thing. Kings of Swords, that's not their forte. It should be, right? King of Swords, they should rule the throat chakra. They should communicate. But lots of times it gets stuck up here and doesn't compute and come out here. So sometimes they don't say all the things, even though they can think all the things. It doesn't necessarily, ideas don't always come out in words. Anyone who tries writing can tell you that. I have fabulous ideas. My words, woefully inadequate. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, no, actually, before we do this, let me go ahead and get to our birthdays. So let's do a little card pull for the 23rd, for someone whose birthday is the 23rd, and then we'll also do for the 24th, and then I'll do those 5 winners. All right, so for someone whose birthday is on the 23rd, we have a 3 of Swords, a 3 of Cups, and a 10 of Cups. Oh my. Okay, so in the moment, somebody might just really wish to be back with our character. There is some kind of, all I can say is somebody still wishes they could go back in time and have the relationship that once upon a time existed. I just don't know if that's going to change anything, because our lead character seems to be in some other connection with that 3 of Cups here. This is like, I may already be building something with somebody else. The only thing I will say to our lead character is, heads up, in this next year, somebody from the past could be like reaching out, you know. And could that throw a monkey wrench in things? Well, possibly, because it could stir up memories of the past and the life that could have been but wasn't. This could be somebody that betrayed the connection, and they are the one sitting in the heartbreak. But it does say that in this next year, a character who could already be well committed and building a life in a different direction is going to have the past creep up behind them and try to reach back out. And I mean, I don't know what our character is going to pick, but that could just lead our character to having to figure out how they're going to deal with this. Do they have any unfinished business with the past, or are they well on their way to building something fresh and new in a different direction? In which case, I hope that our character doesn't change gears. I hope they keep moving forward. Just because the past wants back in doesn't mean that that's necessarily in our character's greatest and highest good. But again, it's whatever our character would wish. All right, and let me go ahead and get one more for, or not one more, but a story for the 24th, someone whose birthday is the 24th. We have a King of Pentacles in the reverse. We have the Star in the reverse. We have the Fool in the reverse. there's a big realization that a directional change is here. An area that our character maybe thought was going to blossom, or a career path that they wanted, or even a relationship they thought they wanted, could end up being like, oh, totally not my thing, not my goal, not the thing that I want, not the thing I'm willing to take a big leap. And it could also be like a message of do more reconnaissance before making a decision, because sometimes a fool is just like, I'm not going to do it now. The star could be, something fell into my lap that actually I didn't see coming, and it changes. I thought I was going to do this, but now I have this other option, and perhaps there's a reason for this. This kind of begs a character to pay attention to when things bog down, because sometimes that's a gift to us. It buys us time to think about things. Sometimes it also protects us. Sometimes things get bogged down and it's for good reason. Whatever, that flat tire that keeps you off the road that day might also have been the flat tire that kept you from getting in a terrible car accident that day. The thing that you thought was, you were all after, and then it falls short of expectations, or the job offer disappears. Maybe it's because that job offer would have taken us far, far away, and maybe we needed to be right where we are in order to meet the love of our life, instead of taking that transfer that took us into some other city. Maybe there's reasons sometimes where things don't happen, or they don't happen at that moment in time. And it says it's not to punish our character at all, because this could have been a foolhardy leap in the wrong direction. The fool is brave, but it's also stupid sometimes. Stupid meaning I didn't have enough data, but I just went for it anyway. You don't jump off of you don't do cliff diving and assume that the water is deep and you're jumping from 15 feet in the air. What if it's 3 feet deep and you're paralyzed for life? There are things that you don't do because there can be real terrible consequences. And sometimes the fool reminds us, like, whoa, we need to look before we leap. We need to check. We don't want to end up, in a terrible accident or something. And so this kind of begs our character to not be disappointed if something doesn't go as planned, because there could be a tremendous, like, protective energy around something that seemingly falls apart when really it might have saved us. And so I don't know, that's just I know not the funnest message, because we all want stuff to go really well, but sometimes that is how things go really well, is when we don't get what we thought we wanted to have and had to have. So anyway, kind of a different spin on it. All right, you guys, thank you everybody for being here. I'm going to bounce out in just a second here and get to our 5 winners, and there will be a video that I'll post. And it'll probably be coming out in just a little bit, because Aries needs me. So it'll be probably closer to like 45 minutes, maybe even 50 minutes before it's posted. But I will get to those winners still tonight. Hi, SB. Oh, Merry Christmas to you too. Deborah Abshire. Hi, sweetheart. Merry Christmas. Aqua Starman. Angie Leo Queen. Delighted you're here. Loving Light Libra. Thank you, babe. Great to see you guys. Bubby Harris. Baby Yoda. Apple Holo. Hi. Holistic Vibes. Sweet. Bellum V, hi honey. Love some Steph. Rania Kamal, AJ. RT, thanks again, honey. And Rahman, always a pleasure to hang with you. All right, everybody, I'm going to bounce out of here. Don't forget, comments are on. You guys can still enter to win just by writing the word compassion, because I'm still picking a Monday winner, even though this wraps us up for the countdown to Christmas. So we won't be doing 2 every day anymore. We'll just do that one Monday winner. And we might keep doing that even through just January. I was going to stop in January, but we'll see. We might keep that going, but at least we still have a little bit of time before we get there. So, all right, guys, lots of love. Bye.